Today we are resuming our attack on the UK criminal justice system, because let's face it, more and more information is going to keep coming out, and quite frankly, I want everyone to see just how utterly embarrassing this is. I could have done a video on that UKIP leaflet that indicated child sex abuse scandals were coming from Labour-held councils, but I need to gather a little more evidence before I commit to that video. So instead we're going to be addressing an article from the BBC website. Disclosure failings in rape case woman did not want prosecuted. It took me 2 reads to finally realise that meant that the woman didn't want the case to go ahead but did. New failings over the disclosure of evidence in the criminal justice system have emerged after prosecutors charged a man with rape in a case where the woman involved did not want a charge to be brought. So we're going to ignore this woman here, and her decision not to prosecute. The prosecutor though believes they have enough evidence to put a man in prison, which of course with targets is all they need really, even if it flies in the face of the person who doesn't want this brought to court, i.e. the supposed victim. That right there is tax money well spent. The police then failed to list her statement, in which she said she did not believe the man had done anything wrong, in the so-called schedule of unused evidence that could help the defence. To whomever it was that decided her statement was utterly worthless, so much so that you would be happy to convict a man for not committing rape, under the guise of him having committed rape. Resign, please. People like you should not be in positions of power, ever. I wouldn't trust you to flip a burger in McDonald's, so you might find it better to, I don't know, cut grass, wash cars. You know, something low-tech that doesn't require you to have any real responsibility. Although now that I say it, I'm struggling to find a job where you don't have any responsibility, so I might be insulting those that wash cars and cut grass. My apologies to those that do. The case, one of the latest to expose failings in the system in England and Wales, was uncovered by BBC Panorama. They do fantastic documentaries, okay? Although I probably would have watched it if it was titled Louis Theroux and the Utterly Bollocksed UK Criminal Justice System. All current rape and serious sexual offence cases are being reviewed, and the Director of Public Prosecutions told the programme some have already been sent back to the police for further investigation. Not that I, for 1 second, trust the police to do the job that they failed to do adequately the first time. It might be an idea to have a specialist unit for this, albeit a temporary occupation before they go back to doing their regular jobs, but a specialist team solely designed to gather evidence and investigate this properly. So not the department that originally had the case, because honestly, I don't think they'd actually do anything to help at this point. It is the role of the police and prosecution to ensure defence teams have all the evidence that may undermine the case. Good, because we want to be sure when the jury make their decision they have all the facts, which in this case they didn't, which is astonishing. This is as bad, it is equally as bad, as those cases that someone deemed the evidence to be too personal to be presented, only then, on the final day, for it to be released and for it to prove the innocent of the accused, who was in fact the real victim in all of this. Whereas in most of the cases I've talked about, the vindictive fuck, i.e. the original, quote, victim, was the problem. In this case, it is entirely the prosecution's fault, because the actual victims, in this case the man and the woman, have been dragged into something that didn't need to be taken or escalated as far as it has been. It is quite astonishing the lengths some will go to hit a target. The allegations involve 2 men who went home with a young woman after meeting her and her friend on a night out. The CPS charged both men with rape, but both the men's barristers say they were not aware of the woman's statement until the start of the trial in January, although the CPS says it was sent to the solicitors months earlier. The judge at Snaresbrook Crown Court then asked the CPS to review its decision, and it dropped the case against the man she did not feel should be on trial. I'm not entirely sure what I should be saying here, because all I can think is, wow, the CPS can't be trusted to do their job either. Imagine my shock. The woman, Jane, says that the 2 men started trying to have sex with her back at her flat. Jane, not her real name, told Panorama one of the men involved stopped as soon as she asked him to. The other man continued having sex despite her protests, so he did in fact rape her. So he should be prosecuted fully, and when convicted, enjoy being butt-fucked on a regular basis in prison. It is no less than what you deserve. She then indicated that male 2 pulled the other man off her. Good. After reporting the incident to the police, she made a statement in which she said, "I do not believe male 2 should be charged. I do not believe he did anything wrong on the night. I am thankful that male 2 was there, as without him I do not know how long male 1 would have continued to have sex with me. He did not have sex with you, he raped you." I think we have to be very clear here. Male 1 raped you for a period of time before male 2 stopped him. Male 2 is the good guy here. Male 1 should be getting anally probed in prison. So what astonishes me here is, in this particular case, is that they've decided both men are guilty. It's not a guilt by association thing here. They thought this was going to go one way. One guy took it too far, the other guy stopped the moment she said stop. One had common decency and the other one had an erection, and apparently the only way he could fix it was by raping someone. Idiot. This to me also shows a bit of a weakness on the police's part, because when gathering evidence they had the evidence right there that indicated male 2 was totally innocent. I hope when this goes to the compensation department scheme thing, I think it's CSCS, I hope he gets a payout for it. And the woman too, for that matter. Let's face it, she's being dragged into something that she didn't really have to be dragged into. She only had to go through one court case, and that was the one where male 1 went to prison. Police notebook. The men's barristers say they only found out about the woman's statement at the start of the trial after they spotted a reference to it in a police notebook. The CPS said it sent Jane's statement to the defense solicitors months before. One solicitor now says that the statement was received but only found recently. I'm not sure what to say here other than that's also a failing on the solicitor's part. Jane later withdrew her support for the prosecution of the other man, male 1, the rapist. His defense team requested a further download of material from her phone. She felt it was disproportionate. She was also affected by the delays in the original trial. "I have so much faith in the judicial system, and now after this I've completely lost faith." Well, we all lost faith a long time ago. This country, honestly, will prosecute and sentence somebody for a joke, for posting lyrics onto their social media. Honestly, they'll try and put someone in prison with virtually no evidence. How sad is that? Oh, and in the image above it, the Director of Public Prosecutions stands by the decision to bring the case. The case only had any validity for male 1, not male 2. Male 2 is the innocent one, and therefore should not have been anywhere near the courtroom other than to give evidence against male 1. We prosecute on the evidence, not on necessarily what her views might or might not be. What? I'm going to read that again. We prosecute on the evidence, not on necessarily what her views might or might not be. I'm sorry, but she, with the evidence she provides, in fact, I've just said it, she provides evidence. In fact, your case only has any merit with the words that come out of her mouth. And then, of course, by extension, an eyewitness statement from male 2. She says the CPS dropped the prosecution of male 2 when it got to court because it has a continuing duty to review. Right. Basically, you chickened out and knew you were fucked. Miss Saunders said there were some issues that were raised at the point of that particular subject's trial, and we decided, looking at it again, we shouldn't proceed with it. You don't suppose it had anything to do with the fact that you didn't stand a chance? Leg to stand on, you had none, you were going to lose. And then he was going to get a really nice payout for it. Because honestly, we all know about societal stigma and taboo that is attached with anyone that is concerned or related to the subject of rape. That's why their names aren't mentioned in this article, although I could attribute that as much to Panorama as anything. I will, of course, for those interested, find the Panorama in question and link it below. Anyway, on the screen now is the current UK rape law. I thought I'd just leave it at that and have at least some fact in this video and not just my opinion. Now, before we finish today's video, I have a couple of announcements. The first, today at 10 PM GMT, on the Cthulhu-Kin and Friend Show, which is my second channel for those that don't know, I will be responding to Prime Minister's questions. I will leave a link to that in the description. The subject of that stream, while the response to Prime Minister's questions, will be about Brexit, how everything is in crisis, the new Home Secretary, the Windrush scandal, views on illegal immigrants and how we treat illegal immigrants. I guess optics would be certainly a part of that subject, and other such nonsense that comes out of the portly gentleman for Scotland's National Party. I can't remember what he said off the top of my head. I just remember it being rather stupid, but that's not surprising for a nationalist party. Another quick thing, I was thinking about re-uploading a video to this channel. It's a video from my second channel, but because I switched to political commentary, I had to unlist that video. It made no sense to have it there. It was a collaboration I made with a group of other content creators. Sorry about Discord. but that's a direct message. Honestly, I can't be bothered. And so tomorrow might be that instead of the UKIP video, because I might yet still address UKIP. If you would rather I addressed UKIP, instead of putting a somewhat comedic video up on Friday, can you please let me know in the comments? That way I'll know whether to record a video tomorrow night, or whether I get the night off. So I hope everyone has a lovely day, and thank you all for listening.
Omegon, I'm going to batter your prostate.
Imagine my shock.
Okay, we're definitely not done. You see, last night before I went to go to bed, and I was kind of looking forward to going to bed, I noticed I got an email from TeePublic, which is where I normally reference anyone who's interested in getting one a shirt that I would sell because I want your shekels. Well, they sent me this email, so not only do I not get any chance to understand what I did, even though there are only 2 designs active, one in Judge Moist and Charmander onesie, avatars that is, on t-shirts, or an image that was drawn for me as a fan art that I put on a poster because I intended to print it off that site because it was cheaper than getting it from another site. You've not explained to me what I did. You've not offered me the opportunity to simply remove it. You simply deleted my account. I don't usually make it a point to moan about things like this, as it is somewhat trivial. But quite frankly, TeePublic, you absolutely suck for not contacting me before acting so extremely. So, for those that are interested, I will be reopening my Teespring account. I have an image that I'm currently having made by Christina Prime, who needs to get on with it before I get the spiked paddle out. And when it's done, I will link it in the description of future videos. I will be removing the TeePublic one because obviously I will not encourage people to go there if they're going to treat people like this. Thank you.